Hello, my name is Kirby109484, or I'll just call myself Kirby for short. And I wanted to try and get into being a YouTuber, because it looked fun. But because I'm only in secondary school, and I don't have any fancy recording equipment, I thought I'd just go for something simple which wouldn't require that. I mean, I literally wrote this script on notes, and I'm using iMovie to edit it. So I thought I'd take the idea that BrawlFan1, a bigger YouTuber, did of making Smash Moveset ideas and try and do it myself because Smash Ultimate is my favourite game. Also, I know that BrawlFan1 uses drawings in order to show how the moves work, but because I literally cannot draw for life, I won't be doing that, so I'll just try to show images closer to the move I'm trying to show. So for this video, I'm deciding to do the character Madeline from Celeste. And because outside of one level, Madeline doesn't fight, there's a lot of filler moves in. And also, unless I refer to otherwise, the technique dash will be referring to her in-game dash and not any other type of dash. And so with that said, let's just get on into the video. Oh, and if this video is garbage, then just note that this is my first video, so I'm not used to it. Madeline will be a medium weight character with slightly less attack power than on average characters, slightly more speed and jump height, will have 2 jumps, and will have a wall jump. Madeline's jab attack, it will be a 3-hit jab attack consisting of her punching the opponent twice, then spinning around to hit the opponent with a backpack. For her dash attack, she will perform her dash ability to dash slightly forwards and punch the opponent backwards. The forward tilt will be like the final attack of the jab attack, but without the first 2 hits, and it will be more powerful and with a bigger hitbox. For the up tilt, she will wave a saucepan above her head in a motion similar to Isabel's up tilt. This is a reference to the end of Celeste and Theo's Instagram account where she has a saucepan when creating strawberry pie. And for her down tilt, she'll dash forward whilst crouching, hitting people from underneath similar to down tilts such as Joker's and Mega Man's. Madeline's forward smash would have her charge up a punch, then dash forward with her ability to strike. The longer that this smash attack is charged up, alongside dealing more damage, it'll also change how far Madeline will travel during her dash. Her up smash will also be dash related, as she'll dash upwards with her entire body being a hitbox, but specifically her head dealing the most damage, then fall back downwards immediately. And the down smash would have a dash in both directions to hit opponents from both sides. The neutral air, the first attack, which is a bit of a stretch, but it will have Madeline spin around at an angle similar to Luigi's down air, with strawberries, which are the main collectible in Celeste, spinning around her as she does so. Whilst Madeline is most recognizable in Celeste, she does officially appear in another game, and that is the origin of this move, as she will pull out a bow and fire one single arrow forward. This is a reference to the fact that Madeline appears in a Nintendo Switch version of the game Towerfall, which is also made by Matt Gibbs. This move would be similar to Villager's forward air, but with a bit more power, but also a bit more start lag. And for the back air, like Villager and Isabel, it'll just be the forward air but reversed. For the down air, similar to how the front and back air were also related to Villager, this will also be. And Madeline will pull 2 strawberries, this is not random, below her, and they will be hitboxes. And finally, for her up air, it will be similar to her up tilt, but in the air. And it will have a bit more range, but with a bit less power, as it will be swung in a bigger arc. Madeline would grab with 2 hands and a headbutt for her pummel attack. The forward throw would have a dash while holding onto the opponent in order to move them forwards and then throw them. The backwards throw will be similar to the forward throw, as Madeline will grab him but will dash behind him first and grab him from behind, therefore pushing him in the opposite direction. The up throw would have him throw the opponent up into the air and then dash upwards into them. The first part is similar to that of Pikachu's up throw. And finally, the down throw would have her dash diagonally in the direction of the opponent in order to bounce them upwards and allow for follow-ups. For her neutral special, she would obviously use her dash ability. Similar to her games, when activated, there's a brief window of time to input one of 8 directions, similar to Mega Man's Metal Blade ability, and Madeline would dash in that direction. The dash deals low flinching damage and moves horizontally around 1/4 of Final Destination and vertically the size of 3 Kirby's. When she uses it, she cannot use it again until she stands on a flat surface, and this does include footstooling, so she could footstool someone and regain her dash ability. Madeline's side special would have her throw Theo whilst in his crystal prison from Chapter 5. This will inflict medium damage and knockback. Madeline cannot throw another one whilst Theo is already out. He will despawn after not moving for around 5 seconds, but if you can pick him up before he disappears, he can be thrown again and this will reset the timer. And other fighters can also pick him up too. For the up special, a black orb will appear where Madeline is, and she'll bounce on it, sending her high into the air. This move is similar to Mega Man's and Sonic's up special, but others cannot use Madeline's black orb. This is a reference to Madeline assisting the player during the summit in Celeste. Now before I explain the down special, I'm going to explain the gimmick, because that ties into the down special. And as anyone who has played Celeste would know, Madeline's doubt and fear took form as a shadowed form of her called Madeline, which is the official name according to Towerfall. So, both Madeline and Madeline would have separate movesets, and both of their down specials would allow them to switch between each other, similar to something like Zelda or Sheik, and the Pokemon Trainer. There'll also be 2 bars by Madeline and Madeline's damage percentage, which will slowly fill up which one will slowly fill up as Madeline does damage, and the other will do the same for Madeline. And once both of them are full, no matter which one you are, they will switch into Madeline LV2, the form that she takes during the summit and the core level. And this change is permanent as a separate character for the rest of the game, even if you die. Now I explained how Madeline works, let's get into the character herself. Madeline would be an average weight character like Madeline, with slightly less speed and slightly more power, and would be able to wall jump and has 2 jumps. Also, I'm going to put a lot of emphasis on her hair, similar to a boss fight in this moveset, even though none of it is actually used, but I decided to do that because I thought it'd be cool. Madeline's jab attack would have her perform 2 punches like Madeline's jab start, before performing a rapid jab with her hair to constantly attack the opponent, and then send them off with a sharp slash from her hair. Her dash attack would be like Madeline's, but with more power and less range. For the forward tilt, Madeline's hair would stretch out like Corrin's arm in their forward smash, but this would obviously have less power due to it being a tilt and not a smash attack. The up tilt will also follow the idea of the unofficial hair, as the hair will stretch up in an area just above Madeline's head and will deal damage and knock back anyone who is hit in that area. Madeline's down tilt, forward smash, and up smash will all be the same as Madeline's, except for the fact that they'll have the same changes as Madeline's dash attack did compared to Madeline's dash attack. And for Madeline's down smash, she would use her duplication ability to spawn 2 clones to the side of her and have them dash outwards, basically doing the same effect of Madeline's without having to perform 2 moves at once. For the neutral air, Madeline's hair will go spiky and it'll be a hitbox similar to Mewtwo's neutral air. The forward air would have Madeline fire out a black orb, similar to what she does during her boss fight, to attack. It'll be similar to Madeline's forward air with her arrow technique, but it'll be weaker and also faster. Madeline's down air will be what she does during her boss fight once she's taken enough damage, as she dashes between rooms to destroy the walls in the reflection level. And this will be used as her down air, as she'll dash directly downwards, similar to Greninja's down air. Madeline's up air will be the same as her up tilt, but in the air, similar to how Madeline's up air is her up tilt in the air. And the back air would have her hair snap backwards in a motion, which would cause a sharp strike. All of Madeline's grab attacks and her pummel will be similar to Madeline's, except for that for all 4 of her grabs, she will use duplicates instead of doing it herself. Of course, like Madeline uses her dash as she does so in Chapter 2 to get past the star blocks to get to Madeline when trying to chase her. It will do more damage than Madeline's, but it'll also have around 3/4 of the range and will be a bit slower. Madeline's side special would have her fire her energy laser beam from her boss fight. This will travel straight forward and can travel through walls. It has limitless range, does decent damage, but has some start time, but not nearly as much as she has to do in her game. For her up special, she'll fly like in a boss fight. This will basically be just the same as Pit's old up special from Brawl. And of course, for her down special, Madeline would switch back into Madeline. But we're not done there, because, if you remember earlier, I mentioned that by filling both of the bars by the damage percentage, whichever character you're playing as will turn into Madeline LV2. Madeline LV2 will be slightly faster and stronger than the most characters on average, especially Madeline and Madeline. She will be able to perform 2 wall jumps, has 2 jumps, and will be able to hold onto a wall just like she does in her games by holding the direction of the wall whilst right next to it. Because Madeline LV2 is just Madeline, but stronger, I'm going to quickly list all the moves that are like Madeline's, but have more damage, are faster, and less start than lag. And those moves are jab, dash attack, forward tilt, down tilt, up tilt, forward smash, up smash, down smash, neutral air, up air, down air, forward air, back air, the pummel, and all forms of grabs. For her neutral special, it'll have the same changes as the moves listed above, but she'll be able to use it twice before having to stand on a surface and recharge it, similar to how she does in the game. Her side special will be the first move to completely change. It'll be a dash punch similar to the Mii Sword Fighter's side special, but it'll have no charge time. It will have startup, but it will just go immediately, and it'll have decent strength, power, and not much lag. For Madeline LV2's up special, it would be mostly the same to our old one, but it goes a bit higher, and there will be a second orb if the first one is hit, and it will basically just redo the effect, similar to how you have to jump to multiple orbs during the summit part where you actually use the black orb. And it'll have better frame data overall. And of course, the down special would have to change because, well, you can't switch between the 2 characters now. So, Madeline will appear and perform a shockwave similar to what she does whenever you damage her in a boss fight, which will send any fighters away and deal low damage. But this is less knockback and more of a wind box, but it does have some knockback based properties. Now, all 3 characters would have their own final smashes. So, we'll start with Madeline's before leveling up. Madeline's final smash would have her dash forwards, and a cinematic will start for attacking everyone who she hits. They all become surrounded by star blocks, which are the materials in Chapter 2, which she can dash through. And Madeline will, like I said, constantly dash through them, dealing a lot of damage. Similar to Empoleon's burst attack from Pokken Tournament. Then she'll do a dash punch, knocking everyone out, and the cinematic will end, dealing a decent amount of damage and knockback. Next up is Madeline, who would have the appendage, according to the wiki, that she uses at the start of the Reflection chapter appear in front of her, which will reach to the top of the map. This will then cause a cinematic for anyone hit, where she'll grab them, like what she does to Madeline, and drag them downwards, like what happened to Madeline at the start of Reflection. Then they will be thrown back up the hole, launching them. The dragging earlier will have dealt all the damage, and then the cinematic will end, and it will inflict more damage than knockback, whilst Madeline does more knockback than damage. Then there's Madeline LV2, which will start in the same way that Madeline does, but the start attack has more range. Then Madeline will constantly dash through them, similar to original Madeline's, but there'll be no star blocks here. Then Madeline will appear and basically do the same thing that she does during her final smash, except for she won't throw them. Madeline will instead jump down and finish off with a dash punch, dealing a lot of damage and knockback, representing the fact that it's them two working together, so it's got the positive side of both of them. Now we're going to move on to the alternative colours, and before I go into what they actually are, I'm going to explain how they work for the gimmick. Madeline and Madeline will individually have their own costume. So, for an example, costume 2, Madeline and Madeline might have different themes. And Madeline LV2's costume will be based on whatever Madeline LV1 has, but with slightly lighter hair for whatever Madeline has for her hair colour, inspired on the fact that Madeline LV2's hair is just pink compared to red, and pink is a lighter colour to red. And so, for the first costume, Madeline and Madeline would both be wearing the mountain climbing gear that they wear throughout the entire game of Celeste. Then, costume 2 would be simple in the fact that they would swap colours. So, Madeline would have Madeline's colouring and Madeline would have Madeline, meaning that Madeline LV2 would look more like Madeline. For costumes 3, 4, and 5, they will all be references to Towerfall. I'm pointing this out now because anyone who has played Celeste who hasn't played Towerfall for Switch wouldn't know these references. So for the first one, Madeline will look like the Vigilant Thief, while Madeline will look like the Ancient Exile. Colour 4 would have Madeline look like the Assassin's Prince, and Madeline would look like the Vicious Vessel. And for the final of the Towerfall references, Madeline will look like the Last of the Order, whilst Madeline will look like the Loyal Kingsguard. For the next colour, would have both Madeline and Madeline have a colour based around Theo, one of the more reoccurring characters to appear in Celeste. Costume 7 would be one of the two alternative costumes, and it'll have Madeline in her archery training outfit. And for Madeline, Madeline would have a unique costume inspired off this one. And because Madeline has a colouring similar to Madeline's, hers would have two different shades of blue, like what Madeline's jacket is made of. And the final costume would be another alternative costume based around the casual clothes that Madeline wears, and again, Madeline would have her own kind of new version of this based around that with her colour schemes. Both this and the archery clothes appear on Theo's Instagram account. I believe it's Theoundastars. I'll probably put the link for it in the description. Madeline's up taunt would have her pull a crystal heart, which is one of the game's collectibles, above her head. The second taunt would have her pull a slice of strawberry pie and eat it, which is a reference to the ending of Celeste, where Madeline bakes a strawberry pie. And for the down taunt, Madeline will pull out her phone and would call Theo, and Theo's sound effect could be heard in the background. This is also a reference to Theo's Instagram account, as one of the photos, which is on screen, has him and Madeline in a FaceTime. Madeline's first taunt would have her hover on the spot with her hair going spiky, like how she does on the boss fight. For her side taunt, she would make multiple duplicates and fly around the spot where she used the taunt. This is a reference to the fact that she does the exact same thing during the credits of Celeste. And for Madeline's down taunt, she'll do the same thing that Madeline does at the start of hers, but when she is talking to Theo, she'll throw the phone down at the end, breaking it. Oh, and by the way, Madeline LV2 has all of the same taunts as Madeline. Whilst the three characters may have their own separate taunts, they share victory screens, and for the first one, it'll have Madeline in the position she is when she finishes the core level. The second win screen would have Madeline sitting at the top of the summit, which is the same as the screen at the end of when you beat the summit level. Final one would have all the characters that appear in the end scene around the pie, which is a direct reference to the very end during the epilogue of Celeste. And that is it. Just remember that this is my first video that I have properly put effort into, and the first video I'm developing. So if the quality isn't what you're hoping for, then yeah, that'll explain it. I understand that this video is probably really bad, but I don't really care. If you want to see more of this stuff, well then just leave in the comment. I might take requests if I see a good enough one, but because I don't have the biggest knowledge of video games, I won't be doing too many. And yeah, I want to get into this, so I hope to continue to do this, and if you want me to, then just say so. Yeah. I'd like to give a thank you to BrawlFan1 for, even though he doesn't actually know that he gave me the idea to do this, he is the only real reason why I decided to do this. So yeah, thank you to BrawlFan1.